Okay, so what's one cleaning task you swear you're going to do and then avoid at all costs?
Uh, Unfortunately, bathrooms. I hate cleaning the bathrooms. Unfortunately, Richard has taken over that job and he does a very meticulous job of it. We have two, and I'll look for him and I'll say, "Are you still in the first bathroom? You know how small it is, right? This is a two-bedroom house." But if you can get someone to do the chore you don't want to do, that's a win-win.
Nice.
All of it. I my biggest fear in cleaning is that I'm going to pick up something, set it down, and I'll never see it again. I do have my partner to do the dishes, which is great. I don't like doing them because I spend a lot of money on my nails, and all that hot water loosens up the glue, and then they fall off sooner. But for my office, everything is in piles and it's stacked in bins. But when it comes time to actually sitting down to do something, I then have to go through a bunch of bins to find what I'm looking for. So I try to put that off so I don't lose anything on the off chance that I might want to work on one particular item and I don't want to spend 20 minutes looking for it.
For me, one chore that I do avoid and put off is going through mail and papers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to throw them away right away. I will, want to recycle them or shred them or whatever needs to be done. But it's one of those things where it seems like, oh, I'll take care of it later. And just end up with massive piles wherever a pile of papers and mails can go. So they're shoved on a shelf. They're shoved under the desk. They're shoved in the desk. They're just like, if you could see stacks of papers everywhere, it's pretty embarrassing.
Your room is a fire hazard.
Probably. We have a shredder. We have the recycle bin. It's just one of those things like I'll get to it. And then you just end up with paper mountains. So, yeah, not my favorite thing to do.
For me, my least favorite chore that I try to put off as much as possible is laundry. Man, because the fact, especially when you live with other people, knowing when it's available is a coin flip at best. So sometimes I'll just wait like 1 or 2 weeks until I think, okay, the hamper is overflowing. I have to go and throw all that into the washing machine, and then I have to wait and hope I don't forget about it like in another hour or so. So to put in the dryer and hope that that's free because sometimes my previous roommates had just left their clothes in the dryer at times. So yeah, then that's another hour, and then I have to take it out of the dryer, put it back in the hamper, and fold all this that and put into their assorted drawers. Just so much time having to wait and not forget about something that I'm not interacting with.
Welcome back to Yay for Adulting. I'm your host, Lisa, and today we're talking about spring cleaning without the shame spiral. We'll keep it practical so you can steal a tip or two and use it the next time you clean. Joining us today is our multi-generational panel. Let's do quick intros. Mom?
Hi, I'm Mom, the famous baby boomer.
Montalie?
I'm Montalie, Gen X.
Shannon?
Hi, I'm Shannon, Gen X.
Joseph?
I'm Joseph of Gen Millennial.
Thanks, everyone. Let's jump in. Before we get in too deep, I want to get us all on the same page or chapter. When you hear spring cleaning, what does that mean to you? Deep cleaning, declutter, maybe a reset, or I move from one pile to another pile?
It means refreshing the house. clearing up the dust, dirt, clutter so that it looks different from the day before. It's a process.
Spring cleaning means opening the
Nice.
windows, airing the place out because you've been hibernating for the last 4 to 6 months, especially in the northern climates, and just picking things up and putting things away that, you've been walking over since October when you had all your Halloween stuff out, or Christmas when the family was over. It's all just it's a refresh. It's starting over fresh so you don't carry over all of last year's nonsense into the coming year. Despite the fact that it's April, it doesn't matter. Spring cleaning is it's a mindset.
Yes, for me, it's an opportunity to reset. It's an opportunity to look at, okay, what didn't work for me? I have all this clutter. I didn't maybe particularly stick to the habit that I wanted to from last year. So almost like a New Year's resolution, but not really. It's like a spring cleaning. That's why I call it an opportunity to reset, to rethink, like, okay, what do I really need? What do I not really need? What can I dispose of, donate, just so I can clear out my space, start kind of new-ish, at least more organized, and hopefully improve from last year. So it won't be a complete repeat for next year's spring cleaning reset.
I see spring cleaning as a way to take stock of what all we have, what needs to go out, what can stay for the rest of the year. A nice little defrag, if you will, of just like figuring out what you will need to bring into the next for the rest of the year, and what needs to be cleaned, what has been lounging around a little bit too long and needs to go out, and if things just need to be organized in a different way to be easier to access.
All right, so I am hearing refresh, reset, and organization. That helps a lot. Now that we've got our definitions, let's talk about the first step because that's where most people get stuck. Most people don't avoid cleaning because they're lazy. They avoid it because the task feels too big and their brains can't find the first step. So, for the panel, what's the hardest part for you? Is it starting, staying focused, or finishing?
For me, it's starting. And I haven't started yet, and it's the middle of April. Gosh, I downsized and I thought this should be easy, but there's still stuff to do. And I think my office probably looks like Shannon's office. It's a fire hazard. It's so starting is the hardest for me.
And you only say it looks like Shannon's because you can't see mine.
Oh, okay.
You can only see a selected view of mine.
Just what's
So,
behind me, and what's behind me
very
is
strategic.
still it's still cluttered, but then there's the
Strategic.
other, there's the other 300 square feet that you can't see. And even in July when I took time off, I put up new shelves and I said, this is great. I have new places to put things. But it just meant that the stuff that I had to move to put the shelves in has not been put away because I don't have a place for it. But for me, it's finishing. I can get to a point where I can't take it anymore, and I will start picking up and organizing. But then I will get to a point where I don't want to finish, because starting another bin means there's another hour to go through. So, as with all of my issues in life, finishing the project, it's the hardest part.
Yeah. As I look around my organized chaos, I would say it's starting for me. I will get to a point where I think where I'm like, all right, I can't, the chaos is overtaking the organized part and I can't find what I'm looking for. But it's hard for me to get started on certain things. The day-to-day cleaning, no problem. Just because having 3 boys, it can get a little gross. So that, like, staying on top of regular cleaning, no problem. But the big clean out the closet, organize the papers, like, for me, that it's hard to get started.
It's definitely hard for me to start as well because I like look at so I was like, okay, and my brain will try to figure out how much time will this take and like how much of a block of whatever I'm going to, can I dedicate to whatever until and along with like other things going on in like my day-to-day routine. So that throws them off my brain. And so like unless I have like a specific day set aside for just cleaning, then I will just never start it in my brain because it's like because my brain like, well, this could take anywhere from an hour to 4 hours, and I won't know until I start doing it. Because once I get into a rhythm and flow, it's easier for me to keep going. But if I'm trying to figure out when to start, that's the hard part because I don't know when the time block actually is.
Yeah. Or I may add on another part to the starting challenge is also our friend called procrastination, which I will, put it off. I'll find another time. I'll get to it eventually. It's that procrastination instead of just like, I got a little time, let me do it. No, I could always find 50 other things more important than going through the papers to do and push it off a little bit. So,
Right.
50 things more engaging than having to pick up something and put it back into this other thing.
exactly.
Yeah, with friends like these. So half the battle is not having to hunt things down. The spray bottle, the rag, the vacuum, the broom. So what are your non-negotiables? The top 3 things you'd keep in a cleaning caddy.
Some of the top things I have are things that you mentioned earlier, but micro cloths, those are good for dusting any surface. And a multi-purpose cleaner, awesome is the one it's my go-to. And a broom and a dustpan. It's one and the same. Broom / dustpan. So that's my third.
For me, I need to have a vacuum, which is right behind me at the moment. I was doing some woodworking and I had shavings everywhere, and that was super important. I have a rake, a floor rake, a carpet rake, because we have 2 cats. And the vacuum is nice, but we also both have 2 cats. We have long hair. There's hair everywhere. So it's helpful. Vacuuming is nice. It's therapeutic. It's aerobic, but it's also not getting up everything. So I will vacuum and then I'll rake and then I'll vacuum again. So my vacuum, my rake, and then I have a stack of used baby diapers that I received from one of my free groups.
Well, let's maybe rephrase that.
Cleaning cloth. Oh, there we go.
I just thought of rolled up Pampers. Right.
There we go. Understood.
There's a free corner here.
Understood. It's just
Nobody comes.
that's how I keep people out of my apartment. Is I use used diapers,
It's a twofer.
and then nobody comes by
Around the whole radius of the house.
just around the perimeter. You could use diatomaceous earth, but I find that used baby diapers actually is better for keeping away company. So so there's the vacuum, there's the rake, and then I acquired a stack of cloth baby diapers from my free group. And those are great for dusting. They're good for sopping up spills. And they're good for just generalized cleaning. I can use an all-purpose cleaner, and I can use a cloth diaper, and that way I'm not using up paper towels, or I'm not using up dishcloths. Those are the so there, and I have a stack of them, and I have them in almost every room. They're in the linen closet, they're in the kitchen, there are a ton in the office for my various paint spills and water spills. So multi-purpose cleaner, I think it's a, for me, it's a given. I always have that. But if I can't, I shouldn't be able to not find the vacuum because it should be right here, or the rake. But if I don't have clean baby cloth diapers, then I personally can't feel I can get started, because then I have nothing to clean with. Just burn it down. Forget it. Burn it down and start over.
Throw the whole thing away.
Throw the whole apartment away.
Whole house. So I'm gonna separate like supplies and tools versus my helpers, which include both my children and technology. So in cleaning is where I embrace technology. So the robot vacuum that also mops. Its name is Clean Latifah. She's very good at what she does. Love her. Also, with the cats, having the automatic litter box, highly recommend. Totally worth it. For the washer dryer issue, so our washer and dryer, they're connected to Wi-Fi, so I get notifications when somebody's doing laundry, when it's 5 minutes, if it's been sitting in there too long. So that is helpful. So using technology that way and using the kids to offload some of those chores. So outside of that, my go-tos would be I'm another one for the microfiber cloths. They're so versatile. You can use them for the glass, for the mirrors. You can use them for like this other surfaces that you're cleaning with, and you can wash them. So not creating extra trash with paper towels and stuff.
Oh,
That, and then a cleaner, all-purpose cleaner. I like one that smells really nice. There's one that has like this specific beachy tropical scent, which is very nice. So that was one I like. And then the third one I'm gonna say is a glass cleaner, because you can't, if you do try to use your all-purpose cleaner on your glass and your mirrors, it's gonna be a mess. So all-purpose cleaner, glass cleaner, microfibers are in my cleaning caddy.
For me, my three, well, I'm going to combine two into one, will be the cleaner and paper towel combo. With your multi-purpose cleaner and using a paper towel. I know some people here would use other methods, but I just stick with a tried and true paper towel. And then my second tool will be a vacuum cleaner, either the hand vac we have, the stick vac we have, or the Roomba we have. And then finally a trash bag to put all the used paper towels and the used or fold vacuum sacks into, and whatever trash that I happen to pick up at the time as well.
That is a key part of the cleaning process. And really, all of these are great. You got a vacuum and a broom and a dustpan, a basic spray with a few rags, or secondhand cloth diapers. You can handle most cleans. Simple Caddy is one of those small upgrades that kind of makes the whole thing easier to repeat. And that's a great place for us to pause for part one. All right, adultlings, that's part one of our spring cleaning series. Today we covered the stuff that sets you up to win, what spring cleaning even means to you, what makes you get stuck, and the few supplies that make starting easier. So a huge thanks to our panel, Mom, Montalie, Shannon, and Joseph. Thanks for keeping it honest and making it practical. In part two, we're getting into the emotional stuff and the real life stuff. Decluttering and letting go, the general cleaning the generational cleaning rules we've inherited, and what good enough looks like when you're busy and tired. So I want you to pick one small win from today and do it this week. One surface, one bag, one timer. Progress over perfection. We'll see you in part 2.